The courthouse envelope trembled in my grasp, its sharp edges cutting faintly into my palms as I reread the words printed in stark black ink. Restraining order. My name, Ethan Carver. Accused of harassment by the woman I'd loved for 3 years. Sarah. Her name burned in my throat like a shot of whiskey I couldn't swallow. The paper carried the sterile scent of bureaucracy, of cold offices and quiet endings. I stood frozen in my dim apartment, the afternoon light filtering through half-closed blinds, painting bars of shadow across the floor. My chest ached, not just from betrayal, but from the hollow realization that she wanted me erased, as though I'd never existed at all. Still, questions gnawed at me, too many of them, and I knew the answers were buried somewhere in the ruins of what we'd once built together. The first warning had come months ago, quiet as a whisper in a storm. Sarah's phone had buzzed at 2 a.m., its pale light cutting through the darkness of our bedroom. She grabbed it quickly, whispering something about a work emergency as she slipped into the hallway. I'd watched her silhouette disappear, unease crawling beneath my skin. But I brushed it off. Her marketing job was demanding. Her boss was a nightmare. Love makes you blind, doesn't it? You see what you want, not what's real. A few days later, I found a crumpled receipt in her coat pocket. Dinner for 2 at La Rosetta, a place she and I had never been. 2 entrees, an expensive bottle of wine. My stomach twisted as her perfume lingered on the paper, mocking me. When I confronted her, she laughed sharply, almost cruelly. Client dinner, Ethan. You know how it is. Her green eyes held mine, daring me to press further. I didn't. I folded the receipt in my doubts and tucked them both away. But her late nights multiplied. Her excuses became smoother. The campaign's been brutal, she'd sigh, tossing her auburn hair with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I'd nod, pretending to believe her, because love isn't just blind, it's desperate. I wanted her. I wanted us. Lazy Sunday mornings tangled in sheets. Her laughter echoing in the kitchen as we burned pancakes. Her hand fitting perfectly in mine. The restraining order shattered all that, filed just 2 days ago. It claimed I'd stalked her, threatened her. Lies, every single word. I hadn't seen her since she'd moved out, saying she needed space. I'd call once, just once, leaving a soft voicemail. Sarah, please, just talk to me. That was all. Now this piece of paper painted me as a monster. I sank into the couch, the leather creaking beneath me. The apartment felt hollow, her books gone, her coffee mug missing, but her scent still hanging in the air, faint and haunting. I needed answers, not just about the order, but about the truth I'd been too afraid to face. Who was she protecting? Herself or someone else? I followed the order to the letter. No calls, no messages, no stepping within 100 yards. But I wasn't powerless. I opened my laptop, fingers hovering over the keys. Social media, her curated world of smiles and half-truths, was still wide open. A new photo stopped me cold. Her at a rooftop bar, city lights glowing behind her, arm around a man I didn't recognize. His hand rested on her waist, possessive. The caption read, "Living my truth." My pulse thundered in my ears. I scrolled deeper, geotags, cryptic captions, a hotel downtown. Each post was another cut, another betrayal I could no longer deny. But I needed more than hints. I needed confirmation. That evening, I drove to the edge of the restraining order's boundary, parking across from her office. The air was crisp, autumn biting at my knuckles as I gripped a paper cup of coffee. Through the glass facade, I could see reflections of gray sky and moving shadows. I wasn't breaking the law. I was just watching. At 6, she stepped out of the building, coat pulled tight against the wind, her hair catching the fading sunlight. A man followed him, the same one from the photo, broad-shouldered, laughing, his hand brushing her arm like it belonged there. My coffee went cold in my hands. They walked to a sleek black sedan, his hand guiding her at the small of her back, territorial. I followed at a legal distance, my car blending into traffic. The order didn't forbid public roads. They stopped at an upscale bar, dim lights, expensive cocktails. I parked nearby, watching them through the window. She leaned toward him, smiling that same unguarded smile that once belonged to me. I could have stormed and demanded answers, but that's what she expected. Proof that I was unstable. Instead, I waited, silent, breath fogging the windshield. Hours later, they left together, her laughter slicing through the night. They drove to the same hotel she'd tagged online. I didn't follow inside. I didn't need to. The truth was already sharp enough to bleed. Back home, I stared at the restraining order lying on the table like a confession. She hadn't filed it because she feared me. She'd filed it to keep me out of her new life. The man, I later learned through a co-worker's careless comment, was her boss. Married, wealthy, influential. Sarah wasn't just unfaithful. She was rebuilding her future. And I was an obstacle. I could have fought it, taken her to court, exposed the lies, but that would have given her the chaos she wanted. Instead, I chose silence. I obeyed her rules, disappeared from her orbit. But I wasn't done. I reached out to her sister, Emma, someone who had always been kind to me. Over coffee, her eyes red from crying. She told me everything. Sarah's affair had begun nearly a year ago. Her boss had promised promotions, a better life. The restraining order had been his idea, a shield to protect their affair while they planned to leave the country once his divorce was final. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I thanked Emma and went home. Then I mailed a single letter to his wife. No words, no explanations. Just a USB drive inside, filled with screenshots, timestamps, hotel receipts, proof, all gathered legally and publicly. Days later, Sarah's voicemail arrived, her voice trembling. "Ethan, what did you do? Why?" I didn't respond. The restraining order forbade it, but the fallout played out online. His marriage in ruins. Her job gone, her polished life collapsing for everyone to see. I sat on my balcony, the city lights stretching beneath me, a cigarette burning between my fingers. I hadn't broken her rules, not once, but I'd ended her illusion with truth, not rage. The night air tasted bitter, tinged with smoke and closure. For the first time in months, I finally felt something close to peace.